Scottish, huh?
I know.
This is number 4.
Welcome to the jinx.
Yeah, I mean, I never believed in Friday the 13th. Thought it was absurd. And one of the other spots we talked about why Friday the 13th is considered unlucky and all that, but today it really
it's been hard.
Yeah, I mean, I never had this many problems with. I do this daily. I start up these things. I could come down here half asleep, drink my coffee, click, people get on, goes up all these sites. Today I've started 4 times.
Yeah, in the previous starts we talked about the Friday the 13th.
The history
and maybe coming from the Knights Templar because they were
rounded up,
severely murdered on Friday the 13th, the morning of.
Yeah, where the first Democrat Party came from.
The King of France at the time.
King of Philip the Fair of France, which the irony is, like I said,
and that's why France doesn't have 3rd floor or 13th floors. I don't know about now, but back in the day,
they didn't have 13
floors, so we just go from 12 to 14.
It's like, to me, like, it's today is like, it made me wonder if my grandmother Wilson was. She was superstitious.
Oh man, in school, I wonder if they do that in school anymore. They have us in a panic on Friday the 13th.
By the time you got that bus,
am I going to make it to school?
My grandmother wouldn't go out of the house on Friday the 13th.
Really?
Yeah, she wouldn't go out of the house.
My daughter doesn't like it. My daughter does not like going anywhere in tech. They're going to an Apple Festival, but usually she does not like to go anywhere.
Well, remember your mom would torment you that you don't want to go in there. The boogeyman is going to get you.
Yeah, it's the only time parents had fun.
Yeah, and keep you out of rooms because you didn't want to get the boogeyman.
That's one thing my parents did a lot of. Like, they never encouraged any kind of like superstition or fear. We'd come into a totally dark house. We didn't have this like pressing desire to turn on lights or anything. None of that.
I was always scared as a kid to go downstairs. I don't know why. I didn't like being down there by myself. But there's not. I didn't know why. Maybe because my mom or somebody might have said something once.
See, I grew up.
All of our toys and stuff were down there.
I grew up in a house where 2 people passed away before I was born in the house. My great-grandfather, he dropped off dead of a cerebral hemorrhage in the basement. And my great-great-grandmother died in what would be my sister's bedroom at that time. And I always grew up with it. We never had any
spirits or anything.
Well, I did have spirits. That was weird. I did have spirits. That's probably closer for a Halloween show.
But you brought up an interesting fact about traffic accidents. 1 or 2, right? I don't remember.
52% is higher on Friday the 13th than it is on the Friday the 6th.
And it's like just the one today, like I said on Facebook, somebody posted there were 6 car accidents in one intersection here in Flint, Dordt, and Davison, and that's a very busy intersection.
But tell me, I mean, if you had a trip scheduled to go somewhere and you could make it a different day,
would you do it?
Would you do it?
Yeah.
To take off for a flight or something?
Do you know what? Actually, today, until today, I wouldn't bother me.
But honestly, if you knew it was Friday the 13th that you were going to fly, and you could fly either 1 day before or 1 day after, would you? After today. I think after going through all this.
After all the technical issues.
I think I would probably to tell you the truth, yeah. It's like weird superstitions or whatever come in for a reason.
Right. I mean, the wives' tales, they work for a reason. I mean, if you dig into them, I'm sure that you can find out that maybe they didn't want you to get poison ivy for something. You know what I mean? Something was behind the original reason.
Yeah. We did, not number sure. I mean, even as we might have been primitive, but one thing I always thought was stupid about like Halloween, they always talk about people are so fearful of the dead because ancient times people didn't know what death was, and I think that was more crap because I think they dealt with the birth and death cycle far more intensely than we did.
Yeah.
Because dead people were in the house, they had to take them and they would find someone to wash them.
They didn't have somebody to call.
Right.
Yeah, if somebody died in your house, a family member, you were gonna take care of yourself.
Right.
Well, in the old houses that they used to build in the front of the house or in the front of the living room was a part where they actually put the dead bodies.
Got old pictures of my grandmother and my great grandmother in the parlor or whatever.
Yeah,
I thought it was weird now to see the pictures like that, but they didn't think it was weird to have the pictures of the people in their caskets.
Well, when I was a kid, I was up north visiting my dad's mom, and she goes after dinner. She just said, "Oh, you want to see pictures of my mom?" And I never seen my great grandmother. Her last name was Collins, So she goes to this break front and she pulls out this one flip straw. Here she is. She's in the casket. That's the first picture I saw of my great grandmother.
But it wasn't unusual.
No, not for her, but it was for me.
No, I mean, because your mom was like the in between.
Yeah.
Right.
The generations where that was acceptable and
We changed that.
Yeah. But another thing we touched upon was that President Trump just announced that he was gonna lift taxes and
Right.
not or have tax free for overtime and not be taxed federal government. I wonder, do you think that means state too?
States should follow suit,
But
but Democrat states won't. But a lot of Republican states already have that.
But you also did some math on how much.
If you did it by
person would
math,
save.
it's about $4.20 they save
You would get
on a $10
So-
if you can make $10 an hour, they make you work an hour over and they pay you time and a half. You save by Trump doing this, you save $4.20 minimum every hour you work. So that money, if you work 10 hours, it's extra 40 hours. That's extra $40.
$40. Well, that's an extra like $41,
Yeah.
$41, $42. But still, that adds up. Because right now, I can imagine that people are killing overtime and time and a half and even double time because of the workforce.
Right. Nobody wants the younger
And
generation
people
doesn't want
doing the quiet quitting and then just not giving. Well, I don't blame people for not giving the 2 weeks notice, but that's becoming the norm now.
Right.
Just calling somebody and finding out, well, I got a new job. I don't work there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so another thing is like the value. I mean, I used to value loyalty to corporation or business, but as I got older, they'll fire you in a heartbeat. So why would you owe them 2 weeks prior notice before you leave that
and
position?
also we talked about it before about being veterans, about a job is your life in the military, and that's the same attitude and values you bring to a civilian job. It took a while to break that and to realize that it's not that they don't care about you. It's just that they don't need you. At the time, they didn't need you as much, but I'm sure that people want to hold on to people now.
Yeah.
But you can be replaced, and yeah, there are people that don't do a good amount of work to yours, but sometimes it doesn't pay to be that dumb that does the extra, because then you're expected to do extra, and when you don't do extra, your bosses don't like that.
Yeah, they want you busy every second of the day, and then when you do that, and you do the great, they give you a set of objectives they want, you meet them or surpass them, then they want more from you. And there's there's no position where they will say, well, we'll just keep this going. They always have to try to get more and more and more out of you. And eventually you just run yourself ragged. That's what happened a couple of jobs I was at. And you did really well and they wanted more.
And another thing we talked about is that union leadership should be happy about this and going to, and if they don't want Trump, they should be going to Harris and say, look, Trump wants to do this and I'm going to support him because of this. What are you going to do for us? They should be using this as a bartering chip to get more for their people.
But why don't you just let Trump? I agree with you on that. But then on the other side, I'm torn, because on the other side, you know what? Let Trump have Trump's thought. I'm tired of Kamala, whatever you call her. I'm tired of her always jumping on what he does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She should have an original thought. He's coming up with original thoughts, and she's coming behind him and saying, well, here's my plan. Here's my plan. What did you say again, Donald? And then she says exactly what it is.
Okay, but the same thing as a businessman. If I'm selling you a product for X amount of dollars and John offered, I don't know, 20% less or
Right.
whatever, would you come to me before you went to him to try to get me because you know what kind of you like my product?
I go back and forth until
But
I
when
get
you
the
come
price.
to me and say,
Mhm.
look, John's offering this, can you do better?
I'm
I'm looking at it as a business or the union leadership, if they were a good steward of their membership, what they should do.
Right. Well, if they're a good steward of their membership, Sean should swallow his pride and go over and say, hey, you know what? Trump's offering a good
Who's
price. He's
Sean?
trying. He's the head of the UAW.
Oh, okay.
He should run over to the Trump side and say, you know what, that's what we need for our members, and I'm on board with you.
See, but the thing is, the union, even though they're practically showing that these maybe a Republican candidate, the Republican in name only because I think he's a different person than any of the mainstream GOP likes.
Who's
I'm
that?
talking about Trump.
Okay.
Not Trump is, but even if there's such a absurd devotion to our party, even though they haven't demonstrated any sensibilities about actually coming on board to do anything that's beneficial to your membership as a union leader, you still have this ironclad wilding. It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But I don't think they have as much before because I called you to tell you about all the Trump people I've seen pull out on Davison Road from, I forget what the name of the plant is down there on the corner of Davison and Genesee.
Okay. Oh yeah, right there. Yeah.
Pulling out in front of me and all the Trump stuff.
Trump's coming to Flint on Tuesday.
Yeah, and what a lot of people think they're just going to be able to show up at go time and they're going to get their hearts
Broken.
You gotta be there early.
Got to be anywhere 6 to 12 hours early to be even to get in.
Right.
And plus, there's only like 6,500. If they're going to have it inside, they can only house 6,500 people. How many people do you think are going to show up?
Thousands.
There's gonna be a lot of people.
And in Flint and in the area that it's in, it's not a. Where are they going to park? Even there's going to be traffic jams. They're going to be parked coming off of 69. It's going to be horrible for a while. Yeah. Hopefully, they have the police to direct traffic in different things because they're going to have to. But yeah, I mean, I seen a post where Dave Bonte's one of our favorite media personalities who's trying to make it on his own. That somebody was beating him up because he reported Trump's coming to Flint, and I said, as Flint talk, it's news.
Why
would you not want him to report Kamala Harris is coming to Flint? It's stupid. That's just another way you were talking about how union members think. Some Democrats and some Republicans think they don't want to hear. That they got it in their mind. They got a certain mindset. And it's just stupid. They're going to beat up on Dave Bonte because you reported on Donald Trump. I thought you were fair and unbiased because you said that there's Trump tickets available.
Oh my God! That's just supposed to show you the mindset. Another thing is too is I like to put this question to people who've met family members. Maybe they were big pro-union people themselves here in the Genesee County area. What good has that membership done you now after GM has exited 35 years ago? Largely, it's gone. What has that done? I mean, has it served a purpose now? I mean, the unions were in there for a reason. They were created for a reason to help people. When there's no longer any kind of jobs, why have this devotion to they've met their purpose, they lost their purpose, and now move on? It's almost like a religion for some people. I mean, that's why there's lavish devotion.
Well, okay.
The union did its job, and it did save a lot of people, and it was good at the time when it first came out. But from when it came out to where it is today, it's not the same.
And another thing what they do is you're no longer friendly with your supervisors because the supervisors usually aren't in your union.
Right.
Okay. I had a job where I was able to go to my supervisor and work out a deal to be off for the weekend if I could find somebody to do that. After we got the union, I could no longer go to my supervisor and make those deals because it was unfair to the rest of the people. It had to go through a certain process. It was more, and I didn't want the union personally because while they were waiting for the union, it cheated us out of a pay raise.
Well, to me,
and plus there was a freeze on hiring, and there was a freeze on they couldn't give us any money during that time. Everything was freeze. You were frozen at whatever you were making from the day that the contract started going into negotiation until it come out. So it's just crazy. All the bureaucratic stuff you got to go through with the union.
One of the times that I actually got frustrated when I was in human resources and thought, this is it, I don't want to be part of, I'm done with HR world, was this. I actually had to fire somebody for the union because the lady had done her budget. She's working 2 jobs, right? She could not afford with childcare at that time with her kids. The ex-husband was behind on child support. She was trying the best she could. She was driving a clunker of a car. She was doing everything she could, right? And she was working in the she's only working in the kitchen, doing in the dishwashing area, right? That's all she was working. She's working as hard as she could to get her job. She never missed a day. She was always there. She got rolled up, like not bad, but from her supervisor and how hard she worked and everything on her behalf. But because she could not afford to pay the union dues, they fired her. They made us fire her.
Oh my God, that's. I think
if you were a good
union,
union, you would let it go for
Yeah.
a while. At least bank her the money that she owed, and when she started making money, then
No, but that's what the union. But that's what those are the stories you don't hear because they don't want you to tell them. Because what they'll do is they'll say, "Well, we got you the job." They didn't give her the job.
Okay.
Here's the deal: they never went to the. They didn't go, and this is what she said to them. And this was 15 years ago. I'll never forget it because I wrote it down. I'll never forget it, and it's something that I went home, talked to my dad about because I'm like, I can't handle this because he was a pro-union man for a long time. But then he told me, he said, Todd, all I ever see the union guys do anymore is they get the drunks in. All they do is they get the drunks back.
Yeah.
So when a person's drunk, they just go get their job back. If you have a legitimate complaint, the union, and you're not one of the guys that go party with them, they don't care about it. But here's the thing. When I sat there that night, I couldn't, the night before it, I was doing everything I could to try to save this lady's job. You know what they were doing? They were all sitting there coming in and smiling. And this is what the person said. This is what the Teamster union person come in and said, we got you this job. And she looked at him. And then I finally this is when I got in trouble because I looked at him and I'm like, did you go to the interview? And the guy looked at me and I had a pretty good relationship with the guy. And I said, did you go to the interview? And he goes, what interview? I said, her interview. Did you go to her interview? Did you show up for the first 90 days and do all the dishes and work all the overtime she could work? Did you go home with your hands bleached up so bad that you couldn't see me? You could smell it all night long while you're sleeping. Did you do all these things? And he's like, well, I didn't do that. Then how do you tell me you got her that job? And now I'm going to have somebody report and say, well, if it wasn't a union, you're going to create that job. Bullshit. I'm sorry if that got me in trouble.
Okay,
but here's the thing. You're not the one that creates the jobs. You're not the one that writes the checks.
Right.
I'm sorry. The guys, if the union wants to say we got you this job, then let me tell you something. Then let the union write the checks. I think this is good. You want to talk about employer? Here's the thing. If the union wants to be a partner with the company, let them be a partner with the company. Let them write the checks for all the different people that they want the checks written out for.
It also let them take the hits too, like financially, when the company suffers a hit, let them take the hit.
Yeah, but they won't.
No, they won't.
And they're not going to.
Well, look at
But,
2008, they didn't take
no,
it.
But I have a question for both of you. A couple times you cussed.
Oh, yes.
And you used the big one.
The F.
Today. Yeah.
The flat word.
Are Christians allowed to cuss?
We're not supposed to. We're not, it's like not anything unclean or something like that come out of your mouth or
Yeah, but the problem is that word is actually a legal term from England.
Well, yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, how to use that just for the heck of it.
Well, actually, I'll say it. I'll say the S word, but because I hate saying the S word and just not innocent.
But no, I mean, is it in the Bible?
Well, actually, pisses and
no. About that you should cuss.
When some translation of the Bible, they actually have the word shit. I mean, it's in there.
And jackass.
No, you're not
jackass.
understanding. Is it in the Bible where it says that you shouldn't speak in a certain manner?
No, it says you cannot take the Lord's name in vain.
So
Pretty much
it's
everything's
not
clear.
saying you can't cuss.
No.
So
And I sort of, and honestly, when you hit your finger with a hammer, you're not singing, you're not preaching you're not singing the Amazing Grace. I'm not joking. That's never time. If you ever stub your toe, do you sit there and go, praise God, hallelujah, as you're jumping down the road?
no, and then that brings up another thing. When you say Jiminy Crickets or
Does that really make you feel better?
no, but what I'm saying is you're still saying the same thing.
If you
You're
think
still
it.
saying Jesus Christ.
Well, it's funny.
Or some people say Jesus H. Christ. I don't know where the H comes from, but
Holy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, another thing is too, like I always thought too, I think it's like they should be Jesus the Christ, not Jesus Christ. It's not his last name. the Christ means the anointed.
Right.
So like what's it called? The Passion of the Christ came out, the movie that I was at a church. They said, why do they call it the Christ? Because Christ is not his last name.
Right.
It's like Jesus is the anointed, like
Right.
Mashiach or something in Hebrew or Aramaic, Mashiach. So I mean, that's but yeah. When you get back,
Can Christians curse?
What?
Do you think?
Yeah, that's what we're
I don't think it's a
that's what we're
sin.
trying to figure
you?
out. Is it a sin or
Dude,
is it just something you shouldn't
Yeah.
do to be a good person? Well, even a good human, a good person, you shouldn't.
Well, Paul says there's one verse that Paul did say, and I probably use this too loosely, but he says in there, he says, that don't be a stumbling block. So if it becomes a stumbling block to somebody, yeah, I think that's a problem. I don't think that it shows the brightest light of your vocabulary when you cuss.
No.
And I think that, but sometimes when you're so passionate about something, that cussing sometimes comes out before you can stop it because you're thinking about something too much. I think if you think it through and you're cussing, there's a problem. But if you're like really worked up on something,
but if you're going to substitute words for those words, doesn't it ultimately mean the same thing?
Yeah.
Just because you said Jiminy Crickets or whatever word it is you used instead of that cuss word, is it still doing the same thing?
it is.
Yeah, it is. I guess the intention, like even gosh darn, I mean, can be considered by some people as a swear
That's
word.
goddamn.
Well,
Mhm.
a lot of people say the Bible says if it goes in your if it goes in your mind, you've done it. So your thoughts are so.
I don't know. Usually, when you're in pain, you don't think about stuff. It just comes.
You're not
out.
singing the Hallelujah
Or
chorus.
you're upset. You're not thinking about. You're more primal.
Yeah.
At that time, you're just acting on instinct.
And guys are more primal, and they should be more primal. And I don't know why we've turned it around to like, oh my gosh, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be that. I don't know, guys. We need to be more primal. I think we got to be more like we used to be, and versus this new feminine
Have
push.
church mode, and then have
Actually,
guy mode.
well, actually,
with your
church-
friends.
You should be able
Church
to. You should be both. You should be able to be that way. I mean, I don't know if you should get up in this pulpit and lace it out and cussing like Andrew Dice Clay, but you should be able to. I don't know. You should be real. You should be able to be real, and I think that we put people up. Oh my God! And it's so easy for us to judge everybody because of the way somebody talks. But the issue is that what we forget is it's between that person and God.
I don't know. John's thinking pretty hard over.
No,
What do you
I
think?
was just
Am I saying it wrong or
no,
what?
no. I was just thinking people. You're trying to answer his question about from the Bible. It says like some of the unclean communications or some translations say it, but I think that's all in context too. I mean, I really do. Like you were saying about the stumbling block. Some people are easily offended by any word. I mean, that's all this PC and this cancel culture is part
I've
of now.
seen a
too.
video where the interviewer was they were beating him up because I guess there's a proper way to pronounce. I think it's Kamala because it's an Indian word.
Is there
It's
is there a
Indian
proper way?
name, and people are saying Kamala, and I don't know. One way's wrong, one way's right.
Well, I got.
But they've been beating people up on that.
I got one guy kept on saying Carmela, and there's an R in there. I'm like, no, that's not
Or
it.
Carmela.
Come on, and it's like, okay, well, Carmela is the name of Tony Soprano's wife on The Sopranos, and Carmela Soprano. But I mean, it's like.
Well, look at who was that one lady? They called her Kamamala or Mama.
I don't know.
She was a judge on The Voice,
Oh,
and then now she has her own talk show, and she got on her knees in front of Kamala and said, "Oh, we need
that was disgusting.
That was
I
the
mean,
gross-
for any you should be our mother. We need our
We need a
country
mom.
needs a mom.
Drew Barrymore was that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that for any
No,
any
that's absurd.
politician to be at that level to think that they're gonna be. No, they're so horrible. I'm not gonna say all are horrible, but a lot of them would sell their mother for 50 cents.
I think it's absurd to go like.
I don't even know if 50 cents is what they would sell for. 5 cents of fame. Yeah,
a vote.
It's
But,
like
but I'm just saying that
or
they'd
one
be the
hit.
last person that I would look to for guidance on how to live my life.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Other than, I mean, what Trump's been so investigated. If he did something, I mean, the things that he said and different things.
now he's also come out and said he's not doing another debate. Do you think he should do one?
No, because we talked about that before. That's not a debate. It's
I know.
not a debate when you just come up and in a debate, you're asked a question or what you think of something, and then you tell them, you answer the question or give a statement on that question. And the whole purpose of the debate is try to sway opinion. There was no opinion swayed. And you know, another thing, anybody who says that they're undecided shouldn't be voting anyways because they're stupid.
I don't think Trump at those debates gives his policies. I think what Trump has been doing is very, very smart. It's 4 o'clock every day, or sometime throughout the days. He's been holding a news presser, and he's been answering questions, but he's been giving out a policy
But
every
he's
single
done
day.
two things that I think are going to sway a lot of votes, and hitting back on the overtime. There's so many people doing overtime that want that money.
Yeah.
And didn't know that when he signs it into law, you know, by executive order, which I think that's probably what he did all of his other stuff. People are going to vote for him because of that.
Well,
It'd be funny if you walked in the first day and did the executive order.
was it
Let them fight it. Let the Democratic Party fight it.
Biden, what, he had like 96?
The first day?
First day, I think it was 96 things that he signed. I mean, he just whipped right through them. I don't even know. I think he just like had a mass signing with one signing.
Then that's when they set him off for his permanent vacation.
For everything. It was the pipeline. It was the kill the pipeline to, and then Anwar. Everything was in there.
Then the next day they sent him to Delaware.
Yeah, he's been absent.
But what I'm saying is
He's been
that
absent since he came to Congress.
that Trump can have everything ready to go and then be done with everything by 12:30 and drinking coffee or whatever he drinks. Diet Coke.
But you know, we're getting back to the money and stuff like that. I remember one time a few years ago, somebody said, some tax advocate said, we can tax the people at a 5% greater and do so much good with that money. And
No, because the government never does anything good. Because look at the road tax. I mean, the roads are horrible.
well, another thing is too, if you look at it, if you want to start another, like Orrin Hatch wanted to put more taxes on sales tax on cigarettes, and he wanted to say, oh, we're going to use that money for kiddie care so kids can have health care. Okay, if it had a desired effect, because you want to be punitive about taxation, that's what it
Then
is.
people stop.
Well, people stop.
It stops the behavior.
So it stops the behavior. Now you got all these people dependent on the system that was being funded by money coming in from this vice that you sought to eliminate. So it had the effect you wanted. Now these people stop smoking, but that tax is still being expected to come in to support these programs. And that's what it is. When you get something started, 5% doesn't sound like a lot. But then you're going to have an apparatus, a whole organization set up to collect the fees and stuff.
Like the county, the city or whatever level, at state level, it's like a duplication. I wonder, there's probably a lot of agencies have to be created because of stupid things like that.
Well,
That's where all the money goes to.
And to support, look, you're going to have office space paid for the people who do work there. So benefits for the people who work there. Office supplies for the
it's
people
just
who work
like
there.
the state of Michigan with that minimum wage stuff. The minimum wage was going to go up, but which is no big deal because people are making more than the minimum wage is going to be anyways for most part. But they attached a whole bunch of other BS like that. Giving people 3 days sick leave automatically and then do the no call, no show for 72 hours. And then, but the only thing I did like out of that is forcing an employer, if they wanted somebody to have a doctor's note, to make the employer pay for the doctor's visit.
I think that's fair. I don't think the 72 hours is fair.
No, of course not. And then also having to do it on seasonal employees as well as part-time employees, that they have the same thing. And it's not that I don't want them to. Well, I just don't think it would be good for business to come in the morning and not be able to call somebody and find out if they're going to be there or not. Right. Especially if you got a shift that minimum there's going to be 3 people and only 2 people showed up.
Well, it just goes to show you that the people who run our state government never really worked. I mean,
or they want to screw small business.
They don't really care about small business. No, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, it's the backbone of the whole economy," and they go and get a photo shoot, and they're getting a bagel or something, or a Dorito, or Doritos or
Somebody
ice cream. The whole thing is that for a photo op, and the whole thing is that they don't give a crap about the small business.
No. No, because it's the top down.
Right?
And they're the top.
They want to deal with the corporations because the corporations give them the biggest payout. Your mom and pop place, like you got going on and stuff, you
And
can't
it's our own fault.
thousands of
It's
dollars.
our own fault because we treat politicians like they're royalty.
Well, yeah, that's a good.
Like they're rock stars. Like they're somebody important. Oh my God. That's just so upsetting when I hear people saying what a great person, that the government couldn't function without Kennedy or Marjorie Taylor Greene or any of that. You know what I'm saying? One man doesn't make one man or one woman doesn't make government.
They're necessary evil. They're necessary evil, if anything. That's what all politicians are.
But you still shouldn't treat them like rock stars.
No. I mean,
There should be enough people who are just fed up that say, okay, it's time to start something new. I'm not talking about overthrowing the government. I don't want to be met with the FBI. I'm saying there should be a party that says, okay, enough.
Like call it the toys?
The toys?
Toy party?
Well, why? What?
Tired of your shit?
Yeah, toss party. Yeah, the toy.
Toss.
Yeah, call it the toy party. Call it the toy tired of your shit party. And basically, that party be one that says, you know what, we're born American. We don't want all these things shoved down our throat. And if you don't like this, we'll put guys in underneath this party. And we don't give a crap what the Speaker of the House, or we don't give a crap.
It's like they did to Kennedy. He tried to run as independent. They made sure he couldn't be on some states. He couldn't even be on the ballot.
I don't understand
You
that at
have to
all.
have money though to fight it with lawyers.
I don't understand that at all. We're supposed to able to be redress our government. The best way to do that is to have some kind of governmental, some political movement. If we're not allowed to get people who are representing these types of movements on the ballot, who are they to say we're not able to do this? These courts and all that.
Because they know better than we do.
Sometimes they're not courts. Sometimes they're just the Secretary of State. That basically, one lady who said that she didn't want to put Trump on because she didn't like him because of what she thought about January 6th. She had got her butt handed to her in courts because it was
That
out.
was New Hampshire, wasn't it?
Yeah, because she's like, well, how dare you? He's such a corrupt person. I'm sorry.
She was
You
making the
might have
decision
one. You're making the decision for a whole state.
That's
You might need to sit back and shut up.
That's right. That's what the thing is. I mean, every time they do something like that, they said, no, we're not going to give you a grace period or a reflective period. You're out of there. You do this kind of stuff. You try to stop the people's will for wanting to do this kind of movement, then you're out of there. You're not in that position.
But the other problem is people don't know what their rights are. And then the other side is their attention span is only 30 seconds.
Well, the thing
Okay,
is, they got
but you're right. But here's the deal: you guys both are right. But think about this one side. When our government started, these were part-time jobs. Remember?
right.
They farmed in the summer.
And seasonal.
They were seasonal. They were seasonal part-time. The funny thing is, here's a question: why can't anybody vote? If you like voting, whatever, why can't you vote on every bill that comes through and let us look at the bill since you don't want to read them?
Right. It's like
Put
If
them
you-
up online.
Throw them up
Let
online,
everybody
let's see
read it.
them, and then talk about them.
they said has any politician even said they're going to do that? I've never heard anybody do that.
No.
I mean, it's like
They put them up after.
yeah.
Well, after they don't read them and they vote on them,
we got to
Right.
we got to
And then
pass
people
it.
read them and say, man,
what the hell did you just
yeah.
screw us
And
over
then they
with?
come up and I've seen interviews where they've asked the politician, why did you do? I didn't know it was in there.
Well, it's like, well, then what the hell's your job?
And they should be one page. They should be a one-page thing where you can read.
No,
There
but
should
they
be anything
attach
more.
so much stuff to it.
No, everybody like for instance, do you know we spent money years? We've been spending money on Spot House. Do you also know we have a slush fund in the budget for sexual sex slush fund?
Yeah,
To pay
For all the congressmen and
Yeah,
senators.
yeah.
That's a few $1 million.
It pays for their court fees. It pays for their lawyers.
Yeah. So when a girl comes up and says, "Hey, I've been sexually harassed by so and so,"
You can pay it off.
it's hush money.
So then they turn around and try to get Trump up on charges for paying hush money to that woman. But although Clinton had done it, Clinton had done it before him, but it's now illegal if Trump does the same thing, which basically it's a civil matter anyway. Yeah.
When you asked me when you told me the first time we were all talking about this, you said that you were working this thing and where Clinton was coming to town,
Yeah.
and you were trying to get everything, you were helping on that page. I was wondering how many people did you have to run around getting blue dresses so he'd be okay, and how many cigars did you have to get?
It's just funny how the just different standards for different politicians.
Right.
Like the Clintons, I mean, they can go as far as having accusations against them about killing people.
But no one's gonna do it.
People are okay with that.
That's because the Democrats
Or
are
getting their toes sucked in the Oval Office, and people are okay with that.
Or finding places where you can put your cigar so it keeps it nice
And
and
people
moist.
are okay with that
No.
when it's their
All you gotta do is play
Party.
a saxophone, dance a little bit, shoot a 3-pointer, dance a little bit out there. Joe Biden couldn't fit in there. He just looked like an old
But
white
even
man.
with all the things that were going on, he was one of our better presidents as far as not going to no wars, and then he really didn't mess with the economy too much.
actually
He was just there for the most
When he
part.
was going this way to
I'm
left,
talking about Clinton.
when he was going to
He
left,
became a moderate.
he became very good moderate. And
yeah,
at the same time, Newt Gingrich came in, and they actually did for a few years.
But they
Actually
worked together.
Yeah, they worked together,
I mean, it wasn't a bad presidency.
which gave
other
Bush,
than-
which gave Bush an excess, which he squandered away.
Well, I would just say that he was a bad president. I mean, but we were lucky.
No, I mean, but I'm talking about as doing his job. He wasn't bad at it. It was better than friggin'
well, see,
little
Bushy.
George Bush.
well, another thing is everybody wants to give credit or discredit to one president for the economy, for
I'm
example.
just saying the time that he was in office
Yep.
wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad because you had a House and Senate. Because after he got elected, the midterm elections had a sweep of the Republicans in the House and Senate.
And
Okay,
that's how
so
it should
maybe don't give him credit. Just everything worked out perfect. Everything fell into place. Well,
It was a better era.
presidency.
It's a better era than we got.
But people used to sit down and talk to each other back then. They weren't running for every microphone in the world.
No.
And today they run for every microphone,
Right.
or want to run away. If they know that you're conservative and you're a Democrat, you run away from them.
But I would argue that Obama was a rock star president.
Oh yeah,
I'm Obama. That was
That's
his
all he
claim to
did,
fame. I'm Obama.
I mean the
Obama,
first
give me what do you get? What do you get?
Nobel Peace Prize. I think.
Yeah,
For getting elected.
You got it for
getting
being
elected.
Obama.
Right.
But you know what? It was the first time I ever knew that a drug dealer was a community organizer.
They are.
I didn't know that.
A drug
Huh?
dealer could be a community.
Well, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
Because
exactly.
in his book, he admits that he's a drug dealer.
Yeah. Was it the audacity of hope? People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He writes it in the book, and everyone's like, "Oh," and I don't mind. That's not it. I mean, he made money off of it, but here's the deal: if Donald Trump said, "Hey, look at that grass, gotta go pick it up," they would be putting him in jail because he looked at the grass and said, "Oh my God," and he handed the leaf to someone.
Yeah.
But when Obama does it, oh my God, let's make him the. I actually talked to a girl one time. We were talking about girlfriends and stuff like that.
You were talking about.
Okay, well, sorry. I actually went out with a girl one time, and she goes, "Oh my God, I got to vote for him." I'm like, and I looked at her, and she said, "Because he looks so good in a bathing suit." And I looked at her, and I thought, "Oh my God,
Thanks for that thought.
we fought for your right to vote for this," and that's exactly why. That was exactly why she voted for Barack Obama.
Oh God, Hillary Clinton in a bathing suit.
Oh, God.
Oh God.
And
I wasn't
another
feeling good when I
one-
walked in. I'm not feeling good
and then
now.
Another thing we talked about is Springfield, Ohio. Before,
The cats and
Yeah.
barbecue sauce.
But neither one of you want to touch on that again. Or?
I think they've been trying to make. There's reports that on YouTube that people are coming out saying, "Hey, our pets are being alive by these Haitians." They brought 20,000 people, put them in the state. The government just did it. They did this because Kamala Harris did not do her job.
But it was Kamala Harris's administration that made the Haitian refugees gave them political asylum, and it's not only Springfield, Ohio, it's another
Colorado,
it's Colorado, and another place at the
New York.
center. But
Chicago.
L.A.
and
San
these
Francisco.
people are suffering, and some of the effects are car insurance going up like $100 extra a month. Could you imagine that to come and get your insurance? You're paying month to month, and then have to come up with an extra $100 for car insurance.
I'm wondering if Flint, Michigan's going to get hit.
We're going to get hit because
We're going to get hit with Michigan's going to get hit.
No, I don't think so.
because
Why?
No, because of cold weather.
No. Well, Ohio
No,
has
I'm
cold weather.
no.
Ohio's got
not,
cold.
Not like here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No, have you ever lived? I've lived in Kentucky. The weather's not the same
bad.
down there. Not
But-
like that it is up here, and I think that's the only thing that's saving us.
Thank
I
God.
mean, where?
Well, the other side too is we got the UP, we got the Ubers in
Yeah.
Michigan. They don't put up with a lot of things. You may have guys who drive by shooting and it's shoot
I'm
5,000
sure we
times.
got them here, but
You got the
not
Ubers that when they come
we're
up.
not getting 20,000 people.
No, you
And where would they put them in the city of Flint? Where we don't even have built up
The houses are
housing
gone,
for
yeah.
them. There's nothing for them. There's
Well, they
nowhere-
burnt down all the houses.
Yeah.
I understand, but I'm just saying there's no infrastructure. Even if they wanted to bring 20,000 people here, there's no apartment buildings or anywhere that they can dump them off.
And they got open areas.
But why is nobody asking her this question?
Because she's not
Why
going to answer it
did you
anyway. She
not
hasn't
do your
answered
job?
anything. It's just like that person that they were asked from why they were going to vote for Kamala Harris, and they're coming up with all these reasons. She's just a good person, and I think she'll be good for the whatever. But then he started going on and on asking about her policies. They threw their hands up and said, "Look, she's only been running for 7 weeks.
So, what do you think that
Give
would
her
be
a
something like
chance to
the
get some policies." It is just like read the bill after you sign it and vote
Okay.
in the law.
Vote her for president and we'll figure out what she's like January 20th.
Another thing is, like I said before, a previous thing is like, why do we look for them having given us the agenda? Why don't we give them the agenda?
Because we don't have enough people, because they've done their job. They have done their job. They have separated us. They really have. People don't trust each other anymore.
No, even in the store, because he talked to somebody in the store, and he committed a sin. I mean, the people talked to him back, but I would never talk to anybody while I'm shopping in the store. Would you, John?
Yeah. It depends on what what
Out
store.
of the blue for no reason?
Yeah,
Just to be nice to them?
yeah, that's not beyond me about the scope. Of
You're going to
what's
be
going on.
shopping, and you're going to be picking up a can of corn and say, "I really like corn. Do you like corn?"
Well, I mean, I wouldn't.
Well, I didn't ask Leah if she liked
No,
corn,
but he's just saying that
she was short. I was.
No, that was
top shelf.
nice. Actually, nice of you that offered to pick her up so she could grab the stuff off
Yeah.
the top. I thought that maybe he shouldn't be touching people like
Oh,
that,
no.
but
No.
to offer to do it was nice.
Well, I was actually thinking about just getting the stuff up on the shelf.
Oh, you
for her.
were gonna get it.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna grab her.
I thought you were offering to pick her
No.
up so she could reach
No,
it.
the last thing I need to do is get somebody to hit me with
But
a
I'm
purse.
just saying it's something that I won't talk to anybody while I'm shopping.
I do it because I don't know. I've always talked to people, and I find out. But in that I find out it's funny because I've often found out what people are like and how they talk. You know what I'm saying? And you get to know people. You may not agree with them, but it's fun because honestly, you start breaking that barrier down with people, and it's kind of fun. The thing is the media, the politicians, the system. Everyone talks about the system. I'll agree with you, the system. But here's the problem. You're trying to blame this skin color as the system, and that's not the problem. The problem isn't this skin color. The problem is the system of all these different guys, like you guys keep talking about, where there's one circle of people of influence. And you're right. If you create the toys, tired of your shit, politician party, which would be one of the best parties around, and you have people from every side, bring the ones from the Republicans, bring the Democrats, and say, you know what? Listen, if you want to think you're a cat and you want to pee in a litter box in the public, you stay in the Democrats. If you want to sit there and cry about everything but never do anything and just grab money and never want to pay anything out, you stay in the Republican.
Right.
If you want to stay right in the middle of the line and you just want to have your country back, not that you're going to march the streets and rip everybody apart. No, but if you want to start voting things and saying, hey, you know what? We're going to put guys in and say this. One page bills. We vote. You pull for us.
And don't call it the Libertarian Party because I've ever seen them try to.
Oh,
did you see the people that they fielded for president?
Yeah, that one guy that wore the boot over his head. Oh god,
no, I don't think he ran for the
that was
Libertarian.
ridiculous. Yeah, it was a guy out there.
They let him?
Yeah, they let him. Okay, he wore a boot over his head. It was a bizarre.
Are you talking about Rent's too damn high guy?
No.
The Rent too damn high. He wore a boot too.
Oh, this guy was like.
Are you talking about he's a white guy or black?
White guy. But, I can't remember the guy's name. It was he was a stupid name. And like, okay, Spike Cohen. Okay, he ran legitimate. Don't go by Spike. That's the name of the.
But the funny part about it,
You
they had all walks of life trying to get people to vote because they had convention. What is the convention?
The Libertarian.
Yeah. And all these people were just didn't they say some stupid things?
Oh,
But Trump actually went there and talked to him.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And so did what was his name? Because I haven't seen him around the Swami Vivek.
Vivek.
I haven't seen him around.
I see him once in a while. He does a lot. He does a lot of interviews. Him and JD Vance are really close friends.
Yes. I think that's interesting too, because I mean, you got a person who is non-traditional, the white person you're talking about, and the Indian man you just mentioned.
Vivek.
I can't get that. And
in 4 years, I think the running party is going to be JD and Vivek. Will be the party, and I think that'd be a good 8-year party, and then Vivek would be another one right after that because they're both young, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to put I don't know if you could put JD on his running mate,
I'm
just
thinking about a couple of weeks away. That's all I'm worried about right now.
It's 50 some days away, and
But I think the toys thing is something we should pursue. We should
create the toys party. Yeah, if you want to donate.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we should talk about it because honestly, you could create a party that way because there's people I've talked to both left, right, indifferent, and everyone's always like, hey, you know what, we need to create it. What color skin, and people don't.
But I don't want
the one thing you'll find out about me.
I mean, they have libertarian values, but not libertarian.
Well,
not the kooky ones.
Well, they've been around since the 70s, and they haven't done anything. I mean, it's like I used to pay dues to the libertarian party.
Because they're a joke.
Well, that's what they perceived as.
I mean, they made themselves jokes, and then this year was really stupid because I tried watching that.
It was great.
It was horrible.
I just think that I think the toy thing, we should probably pursue another podcast and maybe develop it and get some kind of thing, momentum going on, because I really like the idea. I mean, was that right off the top of your head? Or?
No, it comes from a YouTuber that I used to watch, and he talked about the toy party.
Mm-hmm. It'd be kind of, I like that. I mean, I think it's common sense stuff. I mean, it's like, and everybody's so politically idealistic. I mean, I like to go back to the Constitution.
Remember when we were excited, we got invited for the local Tea Party?
Right.
And then we get there and find out that it's been corrupted by
the
local Republicans.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't anything you and I wanted to be part of.
Because I mean,
that's the first thing I want to talk about. I mean, not that I'm against abortion, but if the people can deal with it, I mean, if the woman can deal with what she's walking into, that's up to her.
Right.
And plus, it's legal, and I'm not going to go against it. But what I'm saying is that was a platform, and I tried to explain to them, this is a Tea Party. It's for everybody. And you might get some people who are going to be turned off by that. You shouldn't make that a plank.
No, I just think
it should be a discussion within the Tea Party, but not. This shouldn't be Republican light.
You should be, that's what they wanted.
That's what they tried to do, right? Because it was like the people who decided they were in power didn't want to hear that.
And we caucused, and the Tea Party did caucus with the Republican Party, and we lost. And the Tea Party lost it right there because Glenn Beck had built it up, took it in there.
Well, something happened to Glenn Beck too because he made a trip to the wall.
Yeah.
And once he came back from Israel, his whole thought process changed. He was no longer. He didn't even really talk about the Tea Party anymore. Remember?
Yeah,
he went in late August, September. I can't remember what year. When he came back,
but he had a great march around the Capitol.
He had, but like I said, when he went to Israel, he came back, he was a different person. So somebody must have had a little chat with him over there about how things really work in the United States. And then he came back, and he was a different person, wasn't he?
Yeah, I didn't.
He didn't talk about the Tea Party at all anymore.
Didn't see the zeal that he had for the people.
Like I said, when he went and talked to the powers that be in Israel, and visited the wall and did the little crying thing and touching it, he came back a different person.
Okay, somebody who's watching this, could you tell me? I've heard actually the Wailing Wall, the West, it's supposed to be the Western Wall, actually was never part of the temple anyway. It was supposed to be like a Roman era fortress. Some garrison.
But they think it stands over sacred ground.
Yeah, I don't know. This is just so weird that I don't know.
But you think about it, they get all of our leaders that go over there. Trump's been there. Even what's the little guy from South America, the president, who's so crazy, running around all full of energy.
Oh, the guy that was actually trying to reverse the country that was like I can't remember his name.
But he was talking about his chainsaw and everything. But he went to Israel and he cried at the wall. They get him all.
Maybe I'm not an emotional person, but
have you ever been there?
No. But why are you going to cry at the wall?
Was it?
I think sometimes. I think it's the.
Why do you need to go to that wall and cry? Why can't you just go to this wall and cry?
I don't know.
What's the difference?
I think the thing is what it represents. I think.
Okay, but you can represent this wall too.
Right,
You can pray anywhere, right?
Right, you pray.
You don't
anywhere.
need to go to Israel to pray.
Oh no, I'm not going to go to Israel. I'm sorry. I'm not much of walking up hills of rocks and all that other stuff. We've done that before. I don't want to do it again. Here's the deal. I've had friends of mine that go there and they come back and they tell me all about it. But I think it's more because it's where they're feeling like they're following the walk of Christ, where they feel like this is where Christ walked. This is where the steps he took into. And they feel is like for instance, when I went to Gettysburg this year, we went to a tree. We were by this one tree where we did this one thing. Someone said, this tree is like right here. I did the battlefield thing. And they said, okay, this is on the way to Gettysburg. Abraham Lincoln stopped, put his hand in this tree. And this is where he just kind of put his hand in and he just looked around. And this is where he did like a little prayer before he went forward because he was just trying to get himself centered for it. You saw everybody and everyone put their hands on the tree. So I think we got our picture by the tree too, but everyone did. Now, did I feel Abraham Lincoln and did I start saying Foursquare 7 years ago? And did I start looking for John Wilkes Booth? No, I didn't. But I did play, on the way home, the John Wilkes Booth tragedy thing, how they caught him and everything. Yeah. I played that book on the way home so that Jules and I can listen to it.
But I don't think it's important for a Christian to go to.
It doesn't have anything to do with your faith to go there. But some people say it helps them get closer to where it is. It's a lot of money to get close to God.
But God is everywhere.
Yes.
You don't need to go to Israel to.
You go out to the trees out in the forest, and actually, if you can't see God there, then I don't know where you're going to see him.
One other thing is the philosopher Hegel said.
But I'm saying when they do that, it's just to show that they've got that person in their pocket, that political figure.
Right. No, that's the political side. I agree with you.
I'm saying it's a bad thing when a politician goes there. Why do they go there? There's other countries that have things that they should be doing. Why is it Israel that they go to?
Why are you not in Germany or Europe where all our guys were?
But why they get that picture like it's like having another trophy on the wall. I got Trump to touch my wall and to cry.
Well, like I said though, I mean, Christianity's taught to be like universalizable, and it's not like one location. And doing that, it's like, oh, you got to go there to make it. No, I mean, Hegel said, this is the only religion that was supposed to be like rational because it was supposed to be from the onset universalizable, like for the world. No, you got to go here and see
it's
this.
Like I said earlier before, Christianity's the easiest club to get into.
It's ours want to stay a part of.
Right.
Because like the insistence we got to like to a foreign government and back, that's become part and parcel to being a Christian in America. You got whatever the Israeli government does, you got to back it.
Yeah, and not only that, they get them to put on the I forget what it's called, the little hat.
They're
not Jewish. Why are they wearing that?
Well, it's when you go to synagogue, you do that.
You can wear the other hat. They have one for Jewish people, and one for non.
Why?
That's just their traditions.
No,
it's there. Like I mean, sometimes you go into it.
All it is a political trophy wall.
It's like if you go to a Catholic church and you're a Baptist, right? You follow and you walk into a Catholic church, you follow the rules. You walk into a Pentecostal, sometimes you follow their things, And then if you go to a Baptist church, you just prop up a pillow and fall asleep, That's basically.
Anyway,
I think we wrapped up. Talked a lot about this stuff. We're probably being arranged
5 times.
5 times. Yeah. Well, 4 times, 5 times. Yeah.
Well, we don't even know if we made it through this one. But, but I think it's time to wrap it up.
It's been a fun week.
Yeah, it's been a fun week, and we got a lot of.
What? It's been a fun week.
Yeah. Well, it's been it's been fun for talking about this stuff because I've always thought
the Candyman is always happy because he's hyped up.
he's got caffeine.
He's
got
caffeine.
But Our Town Snacks is, by the way, that's. Do you have a website for us if they can buy stuff?
OurTownSnacks.com. Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't been to it yet, and
Steve hates it, but we're fixing it. Steve and I are going to go through it.
the website.
Yeah.
Steve's very particular about websites. He can spot errors in them and see where he can make suggestions. He's good at that. So.
He is good. And then I think we're talking about doing not a political,
Right.
which is kind of fun, but we're talking about doing a satellite show for the weekend, right?
Remote.
Remote
On Sunday.
Yeah.
At a ladies,
If everything works out.
at a ladies show.
Is it a lady show?
Yes.
It's women to women or
It's
whatever.
women to women. They're not bringing
It's also it is.
it's not a ladies like dance strip club. It's a ladies
No, it's a woman
Men's
to
club.
women.
women to women show. It's one of our favorite shows that
Because
Tessie
women
puts
are there?
together. Huh?
Because of women.
You know
Are
what?
there?
Not for me. I am supposed to be going to Port Austin tomorrow, and it's the ladies' day.
You go.
And we're going to Port Austin, and Julia's trying to get me to dress up in pink, and I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing one thing pink. I hate to tell you,
Okay.
this man does not wear pink. So go ahead.
So anyway, I think we got a lot of people probably engaged and maybe some people enraged, but
We'll enrage people, but that's okay.
Well,
It's
look at
not
people watching at least.
we don't. It's not the fact that we don't want to enrage people. We're not trying to, but if you get enraged, you get enraged.
right, that's on you, I guess. So,
Anyways,
yep. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you come back again soon when we're here. So,
if we actually do get this thing through,
what the heck? Where's my cursor? I can't find my cursor.
well, I see the cursor
Where's it at?
right down there where it says hide.
Where?
Right.
Yeah, see, it's frozen up.
Is it turning?
No, that's it. This will be better in it too. Did you end it? This is